Here's why you should stop sharing photos of your kids at such a young age. I invited my friend, Dr. Fatou, to talk to us about this. Obviously, her background is in cybersecurity, and we're going to be talking about this subject from a security and from a privacy point of view. So stick around and ask your questions. Welcome to the Protect Kids Online live stream. I'm CyberFareedah. I have a background in cybersecurity awareness, threat intelligence, online gaming, and other nerdy stuff. I've taken my gaming experiences and professional background to help parents like you protect their children online. I'm known as an award-winning Forbes 30 Under 30 internet safety expert, and I've been in some places on the internet and beyond that you may recognize. So, without further ado, let's talk. 3, 2, 1. Okay, so when I asked you what subject you wanted to talk about, you immediately talked about this. You're like, I see people online posting about their kids, especially their young kids, and they don't understand digital footprint. So, can you give us a quick background of who you are, what you do, and why are you so passionate about internet safety?
Yes. Hi, everyone. My name is Dr. Fatou, or the data enthusiast. So I am a cyber engineer, and I'm also a professor in cybersecurity. And I'm very passionate about policy and cybersecurity, specifically as it relates to our data being shared by third parties, being used, unauthorized use of our data. And my dissertation was also on the privacy and security issues in America. So it's a topic that's very near and dear to my heart. And hopefully at some point we get to see some federal data policies.
Yeah, I hope so. Did you see that there's like a court case of a woman who is suing her parents based off of all the information because they were like documenting her childhood from I don't know what age, but very, very young age is what we're talking about today. And she, because of the information posted online, from her parents, she had a bunch of stalkers who knew where she lived, obviously knew her full name, what she liked, what she didn't like, the activities, the school she went to, the college she was going to. Like they knew everything about her. So I'm assuming this is what you mean by digital footprint and not just the predator side, but also the security and privacy side,
Yeah.
where and there's one question I always get asked. Can someone steal someone's identity based off of what they post online? I know the answer, but I want to know from you. Like, can someone do that? Is this a viable thing?
Yeah. So I actually have not heard about that court case, but I am aware that Illinois just passed something similar. So it might have been I guess, a response to this court case that you just brought up. But in Illinois, children do have the right to the monetary gains that they receive if their parents do decide to post, child influencers do decide to post information about them from a very young age. As it relates to identity theft and information you post online, yes, unfortunately, your identity can be cloned and stolen based on information you put online, because there's actually so much that someone can gain from you. As simple as standing by a window and taking a picture, someone can see like what neighborhood you live in or where you are at a given time.
Is it that bad to post someone's birthday? Like, hey, it's my child's birthday, or like, you're just posting like the first name and a birthday. Like, what's so bad about a birthday? Or is it just the birthday in combination with other information?
I think the birthday in combination with other information, it makes it easier. So, for example, nowadays a lot of people are naming their children very unique names. So if you post that unique name and also along with a birthday, and obviously people are able to see what state you guys grew up in based on the activities that you all do, like come with me, spend a day with me in Target. Targets look similar, but like we can tell by the license plates while you're driving. I mean, while you're recording in that parking lot, walking to Target, we can kind of eliminate what state you live in based on the license plates. And people can actually go online and see that information and be able to utilize that to their ability. And nowadays, we don't really know most people's motives. Some people use it to troll, and other people may be using it for really serious matters.
There's this guy called Jose Monkey. I don't know if you've seen some of his TikTok videos, and he like consensually docs people who want to be found. And so there's a mother who posted a video saying, Jose Monkey, can you find where I am? Because she wanted to teach her teen that even if there's no street signs in the background, if you just take a picture of yourself or a video of yourself and your friends in a Target parking lot, someone can figure out where you are based off of some of the unique surroundings. Like you said, license plate, the position of the sun was setting. What did you like? So many things. So Cheryl says, thank you so much for this topic. It's my absolute pleasure, Cheryl. So when we first had this conversation about what to talk about, what were some points, because I know that you have to go, you're very busy, what were some points that you wanted to get across to parents that they need to know from your own background?
Okay, so I think one of the things that I always think about when I see people share information online is if you wouldn't tell your friends, like 5 of the closest people to you, right? We don't tell them all the same secrets because we look at our 5 friends differently. One may be good with maybe like, I don't know, relationship secrets, while another one is more better with like financial secrets. And, there's just different levels of friendships that we have with people. When people post information online, they kind of eliminate that reality of like levels to information and levels to like getting to know me. They put that information out to everyone. And those 5 people that you may have told about something on social media, that like times 1,000, right? Because depending on the type of following that you have, and even if you don't have a big following, the information that you put out there is people are able to share it. Even more scarier, even if you have a private Instagram account or social media account, people are able to screenshot it.
Oh, wait, so you're saying that a private account does not matter?
No, not necessarily. Not necessarily, right? Because you may have let's say I follow you, right? And I post something and you're like, oh, this is really interesting. And you can't share it with your friend because my account is private, but your phone allows you to screenshot. It doesn't stop you from screenshotting because my page is private. You can just screenshot that post and send it to your friend. And your friend may then go on their public platform and repost whatever was posted, right? So it's really like, yes, there's a sense of safety, right? So with private accounts, I always tell people there's a sense of safety. It makes you feel a little better, but it doesn't make you well off depending on what kind of content you're sharing and who it is you have on that other side of that private account. And then the second thing that I do want to say is internet archives is a thing. Whether you have a private account or a public account, if you post something, you can always find it on internet by going on internet archives and finding a given time and a given username and finding what they post during a certain time, which is how celebrities will come out and say something 10 years later and stand for something, and someone will go find a tweet that they posted back in 2012. So it's kind of one of those things where it's just like you have to be really careful with what you post online. And I think people are taking it very lightly because our means of main communication is through, like, it's digitally now, right? It's through social media. So people feel like, oh, okay, like, well, somebody heard me say this out loud. It's okay if I say it on social media.
So if a private account doesn't matter, and I always tell people, like you said, it's a sense of safety because most people add people to their private account that they don't even know if that's actually their friend. Like someone can say that, hey, this I'm connecting from high school or college, but you don't know if that's that actual person. Someone could say, hey, I'm your cousin or nephew or your uncle or your brother or sister, and it could be a second account and it's someone impersonating them. So just because it's a private account doesn't mean it's truly private. Like you said, people can take screenshots, they can put it in different places. Your account can be hacked. Most people don't have really good passwords. So because of that, do you still think that posting pictures of kids in private accounts is still good? Is it just better than public, or would you recommend not doing it at all?
I would just recommend not doing it at all. I know that it may be hard for some people, but share the picture through text with your closest friends because honestly, they're the ones who truly care about your child. Think about social media as a place filled with strangers. Like, you wouldn't want to take your kid to a random stranger's house and just have them playing with so many different people and people just like, oh my God, and just grabbing your child and saying, this baby is so cute. That's how it feels sometimes when people are liking and commenting on photos of your child that they do not know. And now you're giving them, think about it as giving people strangers, special access to your child's life. And think about it from the child's perspective when they grow older. It's like you put this embarrassing photo of me in a pool with no clothes on for strangers to see. And I think the more important topic is for us to remember that there are some very sick individuals in the world. And although we are sharing cute photos of kids and think that, oh my God, this is really nice, my child looks so cute, there are people who are actually predators in the world and will see your child in a different light. And that's just something that you wouldn't want like over your head as you post those photos and share those photos with strangers. So I would say keep them to the group chat. And if you do feel comfortable sharing those photos online, just be very careful and very vigilant. Like you mentioned before, utilize strong passwords and have those multi-factor authentication, and be very picky with what kind of photos you choose to share. Some photos just don't necessarily need to be shared. And on top of that, just making sure that actually know who you're sharing those photos with. So sometimes just going through your followings and your followers and just making sure there isn't like any like fake account or Finsta on there, just making sure that you're filtering people out.
What do you think about using services like Google Photos, or like just services that will pull your photos together and you can like share the link with your mother or sister or brother? So you're not sharing it necessarily on social media, but it's like a semi-private. I mean, obviously it's Google or it's whatever service you're using. Do you think that's better from a security and privacy perspective?
I have a quick question before I can answer that. Is Google Photos free? I don't think I've ever used it.
It is free. A lot of people on Android use it. And if you have a Gmail account, it will, yeah, you can upload your photos there.
So the way that I look at it is, if a service is free, you're the product. And I don't know much about Google Photos, so I'm not going to come on here and act like I do. But I would definitely say just be very careful of those type of photos too, because again, we know Google is a data collecting platform, and AI is becoming a real thing. So for them to utilize their AI, they have to utilize data that can also include photos, right? So just being very careful and vigilant of those things, and also understanding that if those platforms do get hacked, all of your photos will also get leaked too. So
this is very, very true. So I say, look, you can use it as a second backup option, but if you're worried about your data like being stored, then I wouldn't use it. If you already have Gmail, most likely they're already tracking everything you're doing anyways. Like, okay, so it's like, what's the worst? Just don't put like a photo that you, if it were to go out in the public, you wouldn't want other people to know. But prepare yourself, because anything can happen. And what Dr. Fatou just said in terms of like the photos, that goes for like logging into other accounts with your Google account, because the more accounts you use with Google or Apple or whatever login that you're using, Facebook, you're giving someone else access, and you're allowing someone, if they hack into your account, to get access to everything else. So what's like a mistake that you see parents make all the time in this realm, or even outside of this, that you wish they knew to stop doing? Is there like a very real threat that people who are outside, because you just came from DEF CON, so I wonder if there's something at DEF CON you learned that you're thinking, oh, more families should know this. So either something you learned at DEF CON, or something that you think that more parents need to know.
I think it starts off with like, wow, it's just so much.
It's so much.
It's so much. Okay, so I'll start off with the easiest one. Since it is August, we're going into September. It is the fall semester for most students. Students are going back to school. You're dressing up your kids; they look so cute, and you want to show off their first day of school outfits. Be very careful with this. I see a lot of parents in the past few weeks have been taking photos with their kids holding up signs saying who their teacher is and where their school is. This is too much information for the internet. Like, yes, you're already posting photos of your children. That's okay, or not okay, but that's your decision, so that's okay. But then you're also now putting your child in danger. Like we said, like, you cannot forget that the internet is a very weird place, and you have very weird people. So not only are you posting your very beautiful child, right? You're a very blessed child on the internet. Now you're giving these strangers information on where your child is located, right? Where they go to school and where they're going to spend the majority of their days. it's just not safe and it's not smart to do. I get that the sign thing has become like a trend, but even if you do post the sign and you're sending it to family members, maybe you want to blur it out for the internet. You want to blur out the school and also the teacher name. I've seen people blur out the school and then leave the teacher name on there.
Oh yeah, a lot.
Like I said, a lot of us have very unique names. You can do some reverse search and figure out, okay, this is the location. This person may be in proximity of this certain school. Let's track down this teacher. We can still find that classroom number. This is public information and available information. So just being very careful. Another thing is, again, taking photos of your child and having that location very revealing on the background. Very dangerous. Another thing that people don't think about too, we have a lot of pride of like with children and the schools that they attend and maybe the teams that they're on, that sometimes we get the stickers and we put it on the back of our cars. Stop doing that, please, because now we know where you spend a majority of your Saturdays. Not only do we know that your child is on this soccer team and we can Google the soccer schedule to know when you're not home. You see where I'm going? Mm-hmm. Now it's becoming too dangerous, right? They know where you are, but they also know when you're not home, right? You wouldn't tell people on the internet, hey, I'm going to the movies, left the door unlocked. Right. So now we know where you spend majority of your days. We know where you spend your time. We know where you and your children are at a given time. And again, the internet is a very scary place. And let's not forget the things that we are showing on the internet that we're very prideful about and happy about. There are other people who may not have those same sentiments. So just be very careful with that.
True. And what about like metadata on like the photos that people share?
Love that. So if I send you a photo, and my location services are on, the pictures do have metadata. So a person is able to, once you send the photo also sends with the metadata. So the person can actually track back where you took the photo at a given time, what time you took the photo, like, and it has so much information like where the photo has been, etc. So you can definitely be able to track somebody's location just based on the photo that they took. This is also important for anybody who sells product, especially like the easiest example is anybody who sells like baking goods. Like maybe you took a picture of a cake for your client and you just want to show them the cake. You're working from your house, right? So you bake from your house, you take a picture of the cake. The person can track where you actually live. And I know some people don't do pickups from their house. They usually have like a meetup spot, but now this individual now knows where you live and where you stay because of that one photo that you innocently sent.
So what can you do to protect against that? And if someone doesn't know what metadata is, what's the easiest way to explain it to them?
Yeah. So metadata is literally the data that is affiliated with your photo. So it, again, shows you the location, the megabytes, any information, the pixels and stuff like that. The easiest advice, you can turn off, when you go in your settings, you can actually turn off your location settings in your metadata so that like the location is off whenever you do send that photo. And then you can also turn off the metadata before you send a photo as well. Some people have also come up with a hack of screenshotting a photo from the original photo so that it doesn't send with that original metadata as well. I haven't tried that, but that sounds like it should work.
Yeah, I've done that before, just in case, just as like a safety measure. Yep. Like, okay, well, let me just screenshot this one. And gosh, there's a lot of talk around posting things in Facebook groups. I'm assuming you would agree with me that it's very similar to, actually even sometimes worse than a private account, because you don't know who else is in this mom group. Right. There's always these situations that happen where someone will be like, hey, like my babysitter, like they called out at the last minute. Can someone come babysit my kids? And you're just like, this is like the local mom group. Yeah. And poor thing, like, you know, she has an activity she needs to go to. There's an event that's happening. Something happened at work. Yep. But like, be mindful that not everyone in these Facebook groups care about your kids. So even when you're sharing cute photos of like, hey, there's like a drive by this weekend, or we're doing something for like, I don't know, we're doing some charity work, come see us here, and you have picture you and your kids. Mm-hmm. There are a lot, and it's been well known, well documented, that are many predators that are inside of these groups just to spy on your kids, figure out where you are, talk to your kids, groom them. So be careful. Even moments where it's like a private Facebook group or a private mom group. I even try with my own private group. So for my own membership community, I'm like, don't post anything too personal in this group. Even though everyone has to pay to be here, I don't, you never know what you don't know. And so I try as much as possible to tell people like, hey, if you can ask a question, you can say, hey, this is what's going on, but don't post any life updates. Even when I'm on social media, I try not to ask people some personal questions that they may answer in the comments.
Yep.
So anything else before we wrap up, because I know that you have to leave in about like maybe 10 minutes or whatever, that you see in general? Like, what about like the students that you work with? Because you're a professor. So what do you see kids doing in school that you're like, gosh, if they knew more about this, it would be better?
So I'm going to brag about my students really quickly because they are cybersecurity students. So a lot of them actually, one, don't utilize social media, and if they do, they're very careful with what to post.
Okay.
So it's one of the projects that they actually have to do is an OSINT project, which is an open source information techniques. Sorry, I like messed that up. I've been using the acronym for so long. I'm like, what does that stand for? It's the OSINT project, which is basically like they get to pick a person of their choice and basically, with permission, get to choose. With permission, get to choose. I usually tell them to do a celebrity, but with permission, they can do a classmate or they can do someone in the school, as long as they have like written communication, so that when they are presenting, they could know that. And a lot of them are actually very aware of the amount of information that you can find off someone based off just a phone number, because our phone numbers are connected to a lot of the apps that we love to use, right? Because we have enabled two-factor authentication to keep ourselves safe. So somebody can actually reverse that and see what kind of social media platforms you have. If you lied to somebody and told them that you don't have Twitter, they can actually find you based on your phone number and things like that. So I want to say for my students, they're pretty good. They're pretty good. But I would want everyone to get like them when it comes to utilizing social media, because not everything has to be shared. I feel like technology has made us so open with talking about things that we wouldn't even talk to strangers to. Like, we're so open with sharing certain things to the internet. Like, you get on the internet and you're just like, I hate pickles. And it's like, bro, you would not say that if you were sitting in a room with people.
That was my tweet.
Randomly say I hate pickles in a room, like unprovoked. So the internet just makes it so much easier for people to just say what's on their mind. But in reality, like, you've ever met someone on social media and then you met them in real life and it just felt like you met two completely different people, and you're just like,
oh yeah.
What did you do with the social media personality? That's the person that I like. I like the social media personality. Who is this person? Like, just quiet and shy. And there's a type of bravery that we have on the internet. And when we try to like enforce that bravery on our children by putting them out there without their permission because they're too young to understand, just realize that when they hit a certain age, not everyone is going to want to use social media. I know a lot of people who are in, like, for example, my students, a lot of them don't have social media platforms. And luckily for them, we didn't have social media growing up, so it wasn't an issue. Like, their parents didn't have to worry about that. A lot of them are kind of becoming like the social media, but they were at a bigger age at that point, so their parents couldn't make profiles on their behalf. That was their personal choice. But we're talking about, unfortunately, I call them the tablet babies. But the kids who grew up using tablets, like every baby that you see in Target or Walmart when you're walking past, they all have tablets.
Why are they not like, so for your students, is it because they're in cybersecurity that you think they're more conscious of it? Or did they have like internet safety, like education in high school and middle school that made them more conscious in college? Like, what do you think it is about them? Because when I was in college studying cybersecurity, half of us didn't know sugar honey iced tea about security in real life. Like, we knew about corporate security, we knew about hacking, we knew about like network security, all of that, but we didn't really know about personal security.
I think in recent years, social engineering, and I don't want to say it has become new because it has been a thing. Social engineering has become easier because of social media.
Can you
So
explain what that means, social
yeah, so
engineering?
social engineering is basically somebody being able to go online and find out some of your information and being able to put that together to curate a personality to really just kind of lure you in. It's exactly what it sounds like phishing. So like, you know, you have like a bait and you try to go actual fishing. So it's the same way digitally, but with a PH instead of like FISHING. So with that, social engineering has become really easy because now I can just kind of like stalk all your social media profiles, find out what you like, find out when your birthday is. And then also, if I know that you went to a certain school, I can act like I'm an alumni of that school, try to build like that trust and that relationship with you so that at some point you're like, oh my God, I have like this new internet friend. I think that has also been like a big thing for the students, for them to understand that like, okay, social media is not like my life. I shouldn't post everything on there. But also a lot of them grew up gaming, right? So being on
Love gamers.
those calls and realizing that the strangers that they're talking to aren't really the people that they think they're talking to, and having that mindset and like just instilled in your head that like, you know, stranger danger, but now digitally. Right. I think we try to tell kids, oh, don't talk to strangers, but you're posting your kids to these strangers that you're telling them not to talk to in real life. Yeah. Let's create a balance here, right? And I'm not saying that you shouldn't post your children. It really comes down to like, as an adult, like what are you posting about yourself to the point where you want the world to know about you and your child? Because it also leads to vulnerabilities, right? Somebody can easily just try to, you know, get in your head about something that you posted that may have been personal to you, and you may fall for it, right? Because you're just like, oh, you know, this person can help me. They're a doctor. Whole time the person is not even licensed, right? Oh, this person can help me. They said that they're a ballet instructor. I'm really trying to get my daughter into ballet. Whole time they're not
even. So what advice would you give a parent to research things to figure out, is that a scam or not? From like your OSINT background and understanding how to research online, what are like a couple quick things that anybody who's not techie can do?
Don't click the link. I know we're all nosy. Like it's the easy. Don't click no links. Like just don't click the link.
If you need to, virus total, like virus scan total.
It. Yes. If you need to click the link, with that, you don't even have to click it. You just have to hard press it and copy it and go straight to virus total before you click that link. I'm nosy too. Trust me. I could have fell for a couple of things just because I'm like, if this is a phishing link, what is it going to actually do, right? I'm very nosy. But I think that is very, very important to kind of just do your research. Like it sounds like
cliche. Google something.
Yeah, just Google it. If somebody sends you something that's too good to be true, 9 times out of 10, it is, right? People are not just out here being extra nice. Like, we're still human at the end of the day. We're not that nice. No. Everybody's trying to survive. Everybody's like, no, like, you'll have nice people in your life, but I see people all the time that said, I met this person on the internet. That's very nice. I hope that you did an elaborate OSINT background check on them before you went to go and hang out with them, because especially for those who are moving into new towns, new moms who's moving into a new, like, I don't know, suburban area, you're just like, I don't really know anybody from here. I'm originally from the city. I'm bringing my kids to this new town. Where do your kids go to school? Let's get to know each other. That may seem safe, but honestly, going about it the traditional ways of going to like community centers and then meeting people in real life, just so you can get that vibe. Like, this person is a real person. Like, yeah.
You can trust your gut when it's in person better.
Exactly. Like, over the internet, it's like, like you may have like some red flags, like, why did they post it? Okay, whatever. But
it's good to do like video calls with people. It's Zoom calls is good versus FaceTime, so you don't have to give out your phone number. You can do Google Meets with them. I mean, it's not the same, but at least do it. Like, teach your kids what you want them to do as they get older. So you don't want to like just do whatever and then your kids are doing whatever. So you're the model for what you want your kids to be doing. So any closing words that parents need to know? Maybe something with AI that's coming up, AI and privacy and security and posting kids online, or something just to close, reiterating a point that you think they should know.
Yeah, there's actually this new like bait that people are going for, where they're coming up with this thing where if you have a child or even just like a regular regular humans, sorry.
Regular
Adults,
humans.
children and adults, where you have adults or children, and they have their voices, they turn their voices into AI, and then they start to do scam calls where it makes it seem like your child or your loved one is in danger. I think as we start posting more information online with the schools that they go to, the areas that they in, maybe the after school activities that they have, this person can be able to curate a whole entire story with the AI voice that they have taken from either your videos or the things that you have posted, especially people recording their child crying and posting it. They can utilize that cry and embed it into the story where it feels so real. It has been happening. We learn about deep fakes. They're now utilizing that to target certain individuals, and create the story where you might fall for the bait and they might say, like, I have your child, meet me here. And if you're not thinking too much about it, you might actually go. I know that there was one story that came out, and thankfully the mom was like not in panic mode. Well, she was, because every mom is going to panic, but called the father first, called her husband, said, hey, I just got a weird call. Where is so-and-so? She didn't even go into depth. She just said, where is so-and-so? Father said, she's with me. She's good. What's wrong? Imagine she acted off of emotion, you know, and it's very valid to do so because your mind is going to go like, I'm trying to save my person here. But just be very careful with that. Again, like location sharing photos, because of that metadata, they can actually get location. And two, sometimes like just double think, like if I don't even share this in the family group chat, why would I put it on Instagram? Like, let's just be for real, right? Just be very careful with what you post. And think about like your child's like privacy. They do have rights. They just can't speak yet, but they do have rights.
They're a human being. Just wait on it. It's loading.
They have opinions. And I think privacy is a right to anybody, regardless of age. So just think about that as you post those things. And especially if you can already see that your kid is camera shy. I watch a lot of people who like will forcibly like take pictures of their like children, or like, can you stand here and take this picture? Or like, I'm trying to take this video of you. And it's like, the child is just trying to be a child. Like they don't want to be an influencer. So just, yeah.
Yeah. Be mindful of mental health.
Whatever money you think you make, and do it off of yourself, not off of your child.
I probably should make a whole video about mental health and influencers. I did make a video about deep fake. So I found the video and I put it in the chat. So if anyone wants to, and deep fakes goes into faking a video of your children doing something that they didn't actually do. And so there's a mother who went on trial. I don't know if she got on trial, but it was like a whole case on her creating a deep fake video of another kid doing something who was in the opposite cheerleader team to get her kicked out of her sports team. And so those things are coming up. People are making fake videos of kids doing things and getting them bullied in school. And so it's all over the place. If you want to stay ahead of the game in what Dr. Fatou was just saying, then go check out the video. I put it in the comments. But I appreciate you so much for being here. Thank you. Valuable insights. I'm so, so happy that you said yes and that you're doing this work, because it's very, very important.
Yes, for sure. And I'm happy to come back anytime, because we got to do a part 2.
I know we do. All right. Bye.
Bye.